We are currently living and experiencing an NBA world that is dominated by international superstars. If you take a look at the last handful of MVPs from players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, and even more recently with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, all of these players have experienced a ton of both regular season and postseason success. Maybe not Embiid, but fans of the NBA, including myself, want to know who is going to be the first American-born MVP winner since James Harden last did it in 2018. And one player I think has a very unique opportunity to break that streak, and he resides in Orlando, Florida. And that's going to be Paolo Banchero. Now, there are a ton of reasons as to why I am extremely high on Banchero and the Magic this upcoming season. Not only has Banchero shown time and time again that he is a young bona fide superstar in this game, but he has shown growth and development all 3 years in the league. He's shown to be a playoff riser. But more importantly, I think that the job that Anthony Parker and Jeff Weltman have done this offseason of filling out this roster and building around the strengths of both Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner have shown that this team is ready to compete in a wide open Eastern Conference, and Paolo Banchero has a very unique opportunity this upcoming season to finish as one of the MVP finalists, which is something I think he will do. Now, when you take a look at what Orlando did last season, I'm going to be very brief with this. We all know historically they were a terrible three-point shooting team. They ranked dead last in the association, shooting 31.8% from three-point range, and they went ahead and addressed some of their needs this offseason. They not only acquired Desmond Bane in that trade with the Memphis Grizzlies that sent out KCP, Cole Anthony, and 4 unprotected firsts. Desmond Bane is not only a bona fide borderline all-star caliber player, he's a legitimate 40+% three-point shooter from behind the arc, and he is somebody who is going to be a consistent shooter from the perimeter and someone who's going to be able to provide a ton of floor spacing for both Banchero and Wagner. The Magic in free agency also brought in Tyus Jones, who I believe since 2019 has been either number 1 or number 2 every single season in assist-to-turnover ratio. He's another guy that can command the offense, bring that veteran leadership, and of course, he's reunited with his former teammate in Desmond Bane. The Magic in the draft brought in Jace Richardson, point guard from Michigan State, and Noah Penda. Depending on how much these guys grow and develop in their rookie year, I don't expect much playing time from these guys, but nonetheless, I do think that they are potential upgrades, especially in the near future. And probably the biggest improvement for the Magic this offseason in terms of their roster construction is simply getting 2 of their top 5 best players back and healthy, now with an offseason of recovery from Mo Wagner, who tore his ACL back in December, and Jalen Suggs, the head of the snake defensively, who only appeared in 35 games last season as he had dealt with a litany of injuries, including that knee surgery that had sidelined him for the remainder of the season. And for context, for those that don't know, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Jalen Suggs, Orlando's big 3, only played a combined 97 minutes together last year. They just could not stay healthy and on the court together. Just want to take a moment to say, if you are enjoying today's video and appreciating this type of work and coverage from me, the best and easiest way to support me is by liking, commenting, and subscribing down below. It's free and it helps me out tremendously. My goal is to get this channel up to 1,000 subscribers by the end of August. And if you guys want more exclusive content from me outside of YouTube on my social medias, the links are in the description down below in the link tree. But thank you so much, and let's go ahead and get back to today's video. Now to kind of pivot and talk more specifically about Banchero, at 22 years of age, now 3 seasons into the league, he has shown time and time again that he is one of the best young superstars in this game, and that he is a future face of the league, according to Draymond Green, which is exceptionally high praise.
I've been a Paolo fan since he was at Duke, you know, and just he's a special player. But if I'm honest, I think he got so much more he can do. I think he got so much more room to grow. I believe Paolo is one of those young guys that he continue to grow at the rate that he should and he's capable of. He's one of those guys, you know, you keep hearing this talk about faces of the NBA, you know, the next young faces of the NBA. He's one of those guys that could and should be in that conversation. And I think he was really on his way to it, and then the injury came earlier this year and kind of slowed him down a bit. But Paolo is one of the better players in our league, man.
Taking it back to the 2022-23 season, Banchero led this Orlando team to 34 wins, which was a 12-game improvement from the year prior. He averaged 27-4 as a rookie and was damn near a unanimous Rookie of the Year, having won 98 out of the 100 votes. He ended up being the 3rd player in Magic history, joining Shaquille O'Neal and Mike Miller to win Rookie of the Year. Now moving into his second season in the league in 2023-24, Banchero averaged 22-7-5, leading Orlando to 47 wins, which was a 13-game improvement from the year prior. He led Orlando to the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference. They took Cleveland all the way to 7 games in a thrilling first-round matchup, and Banchero was rewarded with his first All-Star nod in just his second year in the league. Now moving into last season, year 3 for Banchero, 2024-25, was a very tricky season to evaluate for people on the outside looking in, not somebody like me who clearly got to see what Banchero did and observed that he is still one of the bona fide young superstars in this game. Banchero last season averaged 26-7-5, led Orlando to the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference, only appeared in 46 games after suffering that oblique tear in the first couple of weeks of the season. But here is the most important thing about what Banchero did last year. After he returned back from his oblique tear back on January 10th, put up 34 points in limited minutes against Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Milwaukee Bucks. Banchero was still not himself as he was trying to get himself back up to conditioning shape, into basketball shape, and get back into the groove and flow of things. After the All-Star break, when Banchero turned it up another notch and helped propel this Orlando team into the play-in tournament and eventually into the playoffs, Paolo Banchero, in those 29 games after the All-Star break, averaged 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. Now, mind you, a majority of that, if not all of that, was without Jalen Suggs and Mo Wagner, 2 of Orlando's 4 best players on the roster last season. So not only did Banchero dominate the back half of last year's regular season, he continued his hot streak into the postseason against the Boston Celtics, and in 12 career playoff games, Banchero has shown that he is a playoff riser. In those 12 career postseason games, Banchero has averaged 28-8-4 on 44, 42, 71 splits. And just to take another deep dive into why Banchero's numbers in the postseason are so impressive, let's go ahead and take a deep dive into it. If Banchero stopped playing basketball today, he would rank 8th all-time in the NBA playoff history in terms of points per game, above players like Devin Booker, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Edwards, Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you name it. Paolo Banchero in his first postseason became the youngest player to lead his team in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game at 21 years of age. And Paolo Banchero had the most consecutive playoff games with 25 plus points before the age of 23 with 7 such games. Now, the reason why I point out all of these historic numbers and his pathway to success in his growth and his development from his rookie year now going into year 4 is to show and encapsulate an entire picture about how he's gotten better, how the team has gotten better, and how he's continuously shown time and time again that he can lead a team and be a number 1 option. What Banchero was able to do in those final 29 games of the 2024-25 season and then into the postseason showed me and reiterated to me time and time again, if he can do that and sustain that for the entirety of a season, if healthy, plays those 65 plus games in order to meet the offseason eligibility requirements for NBA awards, he absolutely, in this year's Eastern Conference, will be an MVP finalist. There is no doubt in my mind about it, because you have a wide open Eastern Conference that doesn't feature Tyrese Halliburton, Jason Tatum, or Damian Lillard anymore. You have a Magic team that has gotten better, grown and developed together, and they continue to add the right pieces through the trade market and through free agency with Desmond Bane, with Tyus Jones. And when I mentioned earlier the Magic shooting 31.8% from three-point range, I'm going to circle back to that because, first of all, big shout out to my guy Hassan for pointing this out to me, and also shout out to Philip Rossman-Reich of the Orlando Magic Daily for providing this context. The Orlando Magic, when they shot 33+% from three-point range or better last year, were 28-10. Listen to that. When the Magic made 1 out of every 3 three-point attempt last season, they were 28-10. That is on pace for a 60-win season. Even if they would have shot 33% from behind the arc last season, guess what? They still would have ranked dead last in the NBA last year, and they still would have been on pace for a 60-win team. Now, of course, that might not have been the case last year because you had the injuries to Banchero, Franz Wagner, Mo Wagner, Jalen Suggs. That's a different context. But having said that, if the Magic this upcoming season can shoot 33% just the way that they did last year, who's to say that they can't be a 55+ or damn near 60+ win team in a weak Eastern Conference. The reason that I'm so confident that Banchero is going to be able to take another step forward is simply because I've seen the growth, I've seen the development, and we saw Orlando be aggressive this offseason and provide some floor spacing. Now, I do think that Orlando is still at least one more consistent knockdown shooter away, and probably that would have to be on the bench or one of their guys taking a huge step up, especially one of the young guys, maybe like Anthony Black, from really competing in the Eastern Conference, because we know that this MVP award is simply based off the regular season. I expect Orlando in a weak Eastern Conference to be a top 2, top 3 seed. I expect them, if they're healthy, to win 55 plus games, and you're gonna see Banchero's name in those conversations. Will he win MVP? That's a whole different conversation. I think he's going to be a top 3 MVP finalist, and I think he is going to be rightfully in those conversations alongside Jamal Mosley, who I expect to be a Coach of the Year finalist. Now, my reservations when it comes to other MVP frontrunners with guys like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, you name it, is the fact that these guys are in a tough, brutal Western Conference, except for Giannis, who is on a piss poor, that's just my opinion, Bucks roster. If Kyle Kuzma and Gary Trent Jr. and I guess now Miles Turner are your best players around Giannis, the Bucks are not doing anything. Giannis will put up numbers. Giannis will be great individually speaking. I don't think the Bucks are going to be good enough for Giannis to be in those MVP conversations. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, those guys are going to be phenomenal, but once again, they are in an extremely tough Western Conference. I'm not sure if Oklahoma City is going to be able to win 67 games. Yet again, I'm not sure if the Denver Nuggets are going to be any higher than a top 4 seed in a tough Western Conference, even though they got improved. This has a lot to do with the fact that I've seen Banchero get better. I know that the Magic got better, and they are in a unique position in this Eastern Conference to make some noise. Now, I will say for the record, whenever the streak gets broken about who is going to be the next American-born MVP, if it's not Paolo Banchero, I do think it would be Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards in the coming years has a very good opportunity of winning MVP, and I think it's only a matter of time before Edwards or Banchero is named NBA MVP. But NBA fans, I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. What do you guys make of the idea that Paolo Banchero and the Orlando Magic can not only make some noise this year, but that Banchero could end up being an NBA MVP finalist this upcoming season? I really think he has a legit opportunity. Please tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video and all of your guys' continuous support. It doesn't go unnoticed. If you guys appreciate working content like this from me and want more exclusive content outside of just here on YouTube, you guys can go ahead and follow me on my socials, and you can also see all of my digital written work that I do for Fansided. All of the links will be in the description down below. But thank you guys once again, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one.